What's cracking, everybody? Thank you guys for the continued support on the channel. We're almost at 50K subs. Might try to figure out some sort of giveaway to do once we hit 50K. Maybe give away some decks, some merch, something like that. Also, everyone who pre-ordered the pants, those are currently getting embroidered right now, and I should have them any day. So you'll get shipping notifications very soon, and then I'll ship all that stuff out to you guys. Thank you guys. Keep killing it on the pants. Every time I've re-upped on the pants, they've sold out within like 2-3 days. So I appreciate you guys, man, showing love and support. But today's video is going to be a little bit different. Bear with me here. I'm trying something new. If it works, since you guys seem to like it, please let me know. If you don't like it, I don't have to do it again. But I have been asked to do this by a few different people, so I'll do it on a week where the weather has been like below freezing and windy every single day. Next week it's supposed to get nicer, so I should be back to my regular style videos. I'm pretty much just gonna watch my misprints part and just take you guys along with me and explain kind of everything that went on behind the scenes or at the spots or any sort of stories I got about the tricks or what I was feeling that day. I just kind of bring you along with me inside this part. I filmed this part over a course of like 2 years, I think. Maybe what we were trying to do for this video is kind of get like a whole East Coast vibe. At least for my part, I tried to film most of it on the East Coast, and I'll kind of review that now and see how much of it actually was filmed around my area or just the East Coast in general. We took a couple different trips to film this video, and other than that, I just filmed the rest of it kind of at home or while I was on trips with Santa Cruz. But yeah, let's get into it. All right, I am watching the part on mute because I don't know the whole like YouTube guidelines, regulations, and shit like that. But this little intro montage of us skating flat ground, I think it was me and Mario McCoy. Me and Mario flew down to Nashville to meet up with Joe Perrin. He films for Santa Cruz and does a lot of like editing for Santa Cruz. He lives out in Nashville, so he was kind of fresh to the area at that time. Maybe he's been there for almost a year at the time this was filmed. We tried to fly out once, and it like got snowed out or something, so our flights got canceled. We had to reschedule for like the next month, and then even on the next month we got here and it was still freezing cold. I'm talking like I flew from Philly to Nashville, and it was colder in Nashville at the time that we were on this trip than it was in Philly. Really weird. This spot's super good though. This spot is like some little plaza, I forget the name of it, right in the middle of a park, but it's got this perfect like ledge over grate. Slide super buttery, a little chunky to grind, but really good spot. So this line was actually up in Albany, New York. We took a trip from Philly, I think, and then we went New York City and then up to Albany. First time in Albany. That place is beautiful, by the way. And this plaza is one of the best plazas I've ever skated in my life, dude. The ground there is just perfect. But this line actually didn't take me too long. I've done that trick a few times at skate parks. I don't think I've ever filmed one in the streets. The hardest thing about this trick is just twisting enough to just get in there, but not twisting too much where your body keeps over rotating. So I'm able to pull it back to regular. Yeah, I was hyped on that one. This was on that same trip up in New York. I actually never did this trick before that I'm about to do. I got to this spot and I actually didn't know what to do, and I kind of was just messing with a bunch of different tricks, trying to figure out what worked and what didn't. For some reason, this one popped in my head. The fakie heel front crook. And I think that's just because I've filmed fakie heel back crooks before for my Santa Cruz part before this one. And I was just thinking I've never done fakie heel frontside crook, like maybe, and it seems like one you could figure out if you just tried it enough. And that one ended up working out. Dude, this spot in Philly has been there forever, and for some reason I've never skated it till this day. We were just kind of lurking out. We actually skated flat ground in the alleyway, like right here, for so long, and then we just started messing with the ledge. And kickflip back tails have been something that I've been able to kind of get up on taller things. I was like, if I can kickflip back tail it, I'm just gonna try, like if I get to the end of it, to flick out. And they started to work, and I got lucky with that one though. This line's also up in New York. That same trip, that trip from Philly to Albany, got a lot for this video done. And then also that Nashville trip. But this is one of my switch trays, if not the only switch tray I've ever done in the streets, I think. Down anything. I tried one in Portugal years ago on like a fall-in trip, down some double set, and I got pretty smoked, dude. I tried it for a while, couldn't get it. Switch tray. This spot's sketchy. This is right in, it's not really sketchy, but it's got the knobs on both sides. The speed you go, it's just a weird spot to skate because the speed you go, you have to actually, right when you get in, pretty much be popping out already, or else you hit that knob. It's kind of a quick spot, like a quick grind pop out, you know. It kind of took a while to like get all the speed right on this whole line. Backsmith Biggie. That spot just seemed perfect for it. I mean, it grinded really good.
This is also at that Albany Plaza. These rails, you've probably seen these a bunch, pretty famous rails now at this point. This was the last day of our trip in Albany. This is one of those tricks while going to Albany that I had in mind, but I've never seen this rail in person. Like, I am not one to claim tricks. I hate actually saying something that I want to do, because then I feel like I'm obligated to try it, right? Like if I say, yo, I want to go to this rail and not like he'll crook it, and then I get there and the rail's way taller than I thought, or there's a big crack in the front, like, and then I feel like I just made everyone come do something, like photographers, filmers, other skaters come to this spot for me, and now I feel all that pressure. Like I try to make every trick I do easy on myself and work well with others. Like, I don't know, that's just the kind of person I am. I always want to feel like everyone who's here at the spot actually like wants to be there, and like we all support each other while we skate stuff, you know what I mean? Like I might sit at like a vert ramp and watch Winkowski and all those dudes shred this vert ramp, but I will fucking watch and enjoy it and like support them to the fullest, right? Like, and I think most skaters do. It might be more in my head that, I don't know, sometimes if I'm at a ledge spot trying to line for 2 hours, like I don't know if all those dudes want to be there watching me do that, you know? But I think that they do. I think we all support each other, and that's what's cool about Santa Cruz. Like we have such a diverse squad, but we all are there really to support each other, so it's dope. But yeah, I was just nervous about claiming this trick and then it not happening. So on the last day of the trip, we kind of made our way over here, checked it out, got to try, and it ended up working. It was kind of a short rail, so it wasn't that bad. This is a Philly spot, little Philly step ledge. You can see it's bondoed here, but still, like the way this ground is and gritty, like I would miss my pop into this nollie crook a bunch. And I actually tried this line with my friend Sean filming it. I tried it for a while. He was filming at Fisheye though, so he was filming a little bit different. But I remember trying at Fisheye and I couldn't do it that day. That's what's so weird about skating. Like some days you feel like, dude, I know how to do this trick so well. Why isn't it working? And then you just like stop, get tired or get over it or whatever, and you go back the next time and you can just do it. Like that's what happened in this scenario. And I kind of felt bad for my homie Sean, because he was there with me for like an hour putting in the work to try to get the line, and then like I didn't do it. And then I ended up going back months later with just a different filmer because I was on this trip. I didn't end up working out, but yeah, slightly downhill too. That's a good spot actually. It depends on the trick you want to do, but it's pretty good ledge. It's also a Philly spot. You've probably seen this a bunch. Little Manny combo. I was thinking about that one for a while. This bump to bar, this is actually in Norristown, PA. This is an old ass clip, but I don't skate bump to bars that much. And I don't think I've ever kickflipped a bump to bar either, like in the streets. So there was something about this clip that I was always just like, yo, I'm keeping this clip for when I have a part, I'm putting it in there. This is probably the oldest clip in this part. I just like the way it looked. I don't know, someone might even kickflip that before, I don't fucking know. But I was hyped on it for myself, so I always felt like I wanted to keep this clip and use it whenever the part came out. I felt like it would have fit right. So it made it in there. Kickflip over a bump to bar. Dude, this spot's in SF, and luckily we got to skate this spot because right as we left here, or like I remember getting home, and a month or 2 months later, this spot got fully knobbed and skate stopped. Super fun spot while I was there though. Little wooden ledge drops and ledges and mani pads and gaps and all sorts of shit. It's another Philly spot. This is probably the worst half cab flip I did this whole line, and it might look fine to everybody, you know, whatever, but I was doing, like, in my opinion, I was doing better ones that whole time. And then of course I make this one, and it happens to be the one that I land, and I'm like, dude, do I feel like, I remember it was like 1,000,000 degrees that day. I'm like, do I feel like doing this again? Because like I did this trick fine. Yeah, half cab flip, man. If you watch, I kind of whiff the flick like a hair early. I flick off, and I think that's why I just didn't get the good pop and bone that the half cab flip usually gets. It's all good. This is a cool spot, a little schoolyard Philly spot. Now this was that trip in Nashville. This mani pad is actually super crusty. Really cool spot though. Just all the weirdness about it. You got to go into the bank, like slight bank, and then out the curb, but it's a crusty manual pad. The ride up for this thing was just, it doesn't even look as rough as it is, but it was like just crusty, like slow, gritty ground. Cool spot. It was also fucking freezing while we were there. This line, I feel like we only used this line because I really liked the way that it was filmed. My homie Nick Hansen filmed this, and obviously this is California. I don't think I had another switch front heel in this part either, but I feel like after this came out, I didn't know anyone did it when I was there. So I did it obviously in the line and used it. But afterwards, I kept seeing people switch front heel this thing. Like multiple people switch front heel this. Whether they did it before me or after it, I don't fucking know. But I always liked the way that it was filmed, so fuck it. switch foot back tail 3 shove. One of those ones that I saw Wenning do back in the day and I really wanted to do. I did another one at Princeton University. It's like the Princeton Plaza with like the wooden benches. I did it on one of those, but it was like a really quick tail slide. I almost fell out of it and it whipped the 3 shove. It looked really bad compared to this one. So when I was in Cali, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try and do that trick again and hopefully do it better so we can use it, you know. I maybe would have used the other one if I didn't get this line. This one ended up turning out way better, and I was still even tripping because I ran into the grass, but my homie Nick was like, nah dude, you did it perfect. It's just like off to the side a little bit. It's fine. This spot, we got there, you see all this like the ditch is all kind of dug out. This shit was like an inch thick of just dirt and crust. I ended up walking around this building. It was like some like sketchy warehouse building, and I found that shovel that's sitting right here, and we were able to shovel out and broom. We found everything we needed to clean the spot, like at the spot around randomly, and we ended up shoveling it out because it's a cool spot. I mean, it's kind of weird, but it's just different. And then also when I land this, you can see like right here's a puddle. So like my whole board was wet and all the dirt and shit was just like sticking to the bottom of my board. And then it also just smelled like gas the whole time. Beverly Hills, or no, is that Beverly Hills or is that Beverly Hills? I think it is. Yeah, Beverly Hills Outledge. The switch front heel tail spot is insane because you land and like this is like a main street in Beverly Hills, just expensive ass cars constantly parking right here at the bottom, and I'm trying not to like slip out or hit them or whatever. Kind of gets your nerves going a little bit when you see like a Bentley sitting right at the bottom of where you're fucking switch heel tailing. And then the dude that owned the building came out and was like super hyped on us skating to the point where we almost thought he was like trolling us. He was talking about what can he do to make the spot better for us to skate and that he likes having us there, and all this weird shit that like no one ever says who owns a building like this. It was a weird scenario, but I got enough time to get the switch heel flip tail, so I was hyped. Curve ledge in Philly. This spot used to be such like a bust back in the day. At least I remember it being a bust, but this building recently got abandoned. I don't know if the whole thing's abandoned, but the bottom floor where they used to kick you out of, no one was there at this time, so you can kind of skate this whenever. So that's kind of why it became a hot spot for a minute. I've done this trick a few times at parks. I don't know if I ever filmed one in a video part. This was definitely the best one I ever landed. Like even at parks, I kind of always landed them sketchy or feet hanging off or felt like my body was over twisted when I landed. This one felt like how it should be done. So I kind of got lucky in that sense. That one finally felt pretty good. Muni line. I wasn't like honestly that hyped on this line. I was trying to get a nollie heel flip back nose blunt in the part on a ledge, and we were just here one night for like a while, and I just started messing with it. It got dark. I don't think it was this dark when I was trying it originally, and then it got dark. So at the end here, you could see we have, I don't know where these lights came from, because at first, maybe we had them. I don't know whose lights those are, but they're just like sitting on things. Like we didn't have stands for them, and in the beginning we were just using a camera light, but I couldn't see, like once I turned backside into nose blunt, I was like bailing every time because I couldn't see where I was landing. So eventually somehow we got these lights. I forget how we got those, whose those were, but yeah, it made it come to life for sure. So back at that Nashville Plaza, this ended up being my last trick of the part. This was a weird one for me because we were on this trip obviously for a few days. Went to this spot multiple times. I'm like, I don't know what I could do on it. What's like good enough? Going into this trip to Nashville, Joe was kind of like, yo, your part's pretty much done. Like it'd be sick if we could get an ender on this trip. And I'm like, fuck, like that just puts so much more pressure, you know? Like obviously I wanted to, and like I knew that as well, that my part was kind of lacking a ender in some way. That's just a lot, you know. You're going on a trip to somewhere you've never been before, spots you've never seen before, like in person. So how are you supposed to know what you can and can't do at them? Or again, I'm not one to claim shit, right? We went to this spot a few times. I switch foot back tailed it, then we went and skated some other shit, and we were all out to dinner the night before. This was like this might have been the last day of the trip, if I remember correctly. We were all out at the bar that night before, and Joe's like, what if we go back to that ledge? Like, do you think you could do something like flip in, flip out on it that would like be ender worthy? And I'm like, dude, I don't know. Again, I was like, I just want to make sure that like if we go there, it's gonna be freezing, first of all. And I'm like, I feel bad for Mario, for you, Joe, having to sit there and film, but I'm like, yo, I'll try something for a long time, and I'll either land it
or we go home bummed. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I'm definitely down to battle a trick though. Like, I'm into it, you know? And that's what I said. I was like, as long as I know you guys are on board with me and like we're all down to do this, then let's do it. Which is different than like when you're going to try a trick down like a big gap or big stairs, there's pressure, but you know in some way that you're not going to be jumping down that thing for like more than 30 minutes, 45 minutes tops, right? Depending on how big it is. So it's like you either get it or you don't. With a tech trick, you can get away with trying a tech trick for hours and like losing your mind, right? And I'm just thinking in my head, like if we go there and I'm trying this thing for hours in the freezing cold, these dudes are standing there watching me, like that's a lot of pressure if I don't do it. So that was kind of why I was freaking out a little bit up here. I was keeping it cool on the outside, but like I was for sure nervous going into this spot, getting into this battle. I was just a little bit nervous. We all went, we were all down, everyone was into it. I ended up not taking it as long as I thought. I think this took maybe an hour. So I actually got it a lot quicker than I thought I was going to. This ride up here, I've just remember there was a point where I was trying it where I fucking like dialed in the ride up. And once I dialed in the ride up of like where my foot was and the carve, because you have to, it's a whole curve, right? So you're slowly carving the whole time while you pop. And once I figured the timing out of all of that perfectly, I was getting into the switch foot back tails like every single time. And once that happened, I was like, it's only going to take one that flips right to land on this thing. And that's exactly how it went. I just like did this one. I remember riding away, seeing Mario like with his fucking arms up and just be like, yes, dude, yes, you know? And at that time, I've never done this trick before in my life. Super lucky with that one. It worked out. Joe filmed it awesome. Yeah, we were just all stoked after that, man. I felt like the trip at that time, there was such a relief. Like the trip was a success. We got what we needed, even with it being freezing cold, like way different than we planned the trip to be in our heads. And we still were able to come out on top. Like that was just the best feeling. And that was a little behind the scenes look at my misprints part. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, let me know because I can do older parts. If you didn't like it, then I don't have to do this anymore. I just figured I'd try something new and get something uploaded on this shitty week we got here in PA. If you guys have any other questions about tricks that I did in this video or anything in general, make sure you leave a comment below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace, yo.